Yo, what is good, my quick crypto family and my Coin Factory family? Welcome back once again to another daily Casper, also crypto live stream. We have got some interesting sources for today's stream, updates regarding Casper. From the looks of things, looks like some buy signals are now flashing, which we can see Casper currently valued at 7.7 cents, down roughly 1.55% on the daily time frame. Casper earlier today was actually rallying in value, but it started to turn tail and start dropping downwards off the back of the FOMC talk, with Jerome Powell recently addressing the current economic standard. We'll get to that in a moment. But with the price continuing to deteriorate, we are now also seeing hype regarding Casper falling off significantly because the price is low. Hype and rising in price tend to go hand in hand. So with the price continue to dwindle, funds getting higher, and of course, that is the time to buy, especially if you believe in what you hold. And we think Casper is going to do very, very well. Casper, again, still trading within some relatively decent support levels. Bitcoin has now lost 112k and coming lower. And we just speak about this yesterday, that Bitcoin could potentially come back down to 108, 107k. We have got a support here around 110. We'll see if it goes further than that. Again, we'll properly address all of that in a moment, but we got all of that and equally some interesting Zebec updates as well. Zebec, of course, had that massive candle yesterday. We saw huge candle yesterday for Zebec, going up roughly 30% in value, finishing up on the daily in the end of the day around 14 or so, 13% up, and now it's currently down 5% or so, still trading within that golden pocket. And that was all based off the FOMO from their incoming massive partnership, which has been confirmed now, and it's quite a big one, which could be very big for Zebec and its potential price movement in this incoming Q4 and the last leg of the bull run. We'll get to all the macro, all the fundamentals, and also the Casper updates as well, and crypto updates. So if you enjoy the content, I know Cryptoni don't like Zebec, but still got to cover it. If you enjoy the content for the most part, leave a like, share with your friends, subscribe for more, and welcome back again to the channel, to the family. Welcome back once again. Dimitar, let's go, brother, first. You are here, my man. Winghon, just missing out, but you're here, brother. Welcome back. And you too, Cryptoni. I mean, at this point, everyone can say first. If Mr. Mars can do it, everyone else can as well. We moon yet? No, not yet. We were looking good earlier today, but now that Jerome Powell's mentioned and addressed the nation and whatnot, is actually a good thing, what he said. But the short term is, of course, causing some pullbacks, as we can see right now. Yes, Cryptoni, indeed. Future Cryptoni is here, as you are. Dimitar, welcome back. Goes through as well. Hello, brother. Welcome back indeed. Double D, again, welcome back, my man. Hope you're doing very, very well. And Buffalo Theory, again, yo to you too. Get ready, 100%. Get ready indeed. Wealth Ranger capitulation mode is imminent. Yeah, it completely is. But again, don't be emotional. Be logical. You know, our time is also approaching. Good evening to you too, Brett. Welcome back to the streamer, man. So let's get into the content now. Straight into it. We're going to go through, if you're going to cover other coins, at least try and find some that follows either the Bitcoin and Casper. Everything else is scam garbage. I mean, yeah, but again, I'm covering, I believe Casper wholeheartedly is the best asset in the space. There's no doubt about that. You've heard me say it, hundreds of times, if not more than that. But as an investor, I also see the possibility of making gains in other assets. I'm not stuff like Zebec. I'm not holding for the indefinite long term. Casper is something that I think I'm going to be holding probably for my whole life. That's the future I see for Casper, and making gains on it continuously. Zebec is one that I think will do very well in this cycle based on their partnerships and whatnot, and therefore, as an investor, seeing a potential positive ROI on it, I'd hold it. Same reason why I still hold XRP and Sui. Do I think they're great assets? And not necessarily. In the grand scheme of things, I think there are a lot better out there. And again, they are risky because they're proof of stakes. And they're centralized people who control them. But I see a way to make gains. That's what I'm talking about. I'm not here for gains. I'm here to change the financial system. I'm here for both. I'm here to change the financial system while also participating and making gains at the same time. That's also why I do trading. That's why I do the DGen meme stuff occasionally as well. Proof of stakes, the same thing. I can technically treat proof of stakes, these tokens here, as I treat a meme coin investment to make a gain and then get out of it and cycle it back into Casper. That's just me personally. Welcome back, Wyatt, bro. You're doing very, very well, my man. But yes, that being said, let's get into the content. So we can see right now, go straight into the fundamental side of things. Jim Cramer just said, I would like to see a pause in this endless rally of speculation, gold, crypto, and profitless companies. Now, Jim claiming the anti-market. This is me just highlighting this more so as a joke. There's nothing really about this at all right now. But just wanted to highlight that again. It's Jim Cramer being the joke of the market pretty much thing. Him being bearish is normally perceived as being a very, very bullish thing indeed. That being said though, here is the real news. So Jerome Powell, Fed chairman, recently stated that there currently is a no risk free path on inflation and jobs data. That has conflicting messages because it basically means that either the Fed has to hold, well, it means the Fed either, no matter what option they choose, whether they hold or cut, something's going to break. So that's Jerome Powell effectively admitting right now that they're caught between a rock and a hard place. There's effectively nothing that they see possible for them to do without taking some levels of risk. Of course, they potentially could navigate through this, although I don't think they will, and I'm going to explain why in a moment. I don't think anybody really could at this point. The nature of what the current financial shift we're seeing right now. But with him saying there's no risk-free path, it's just sentiment, therefore, that whether they cut rates, whether they don't cut rates, we're going to see a predicament where jobs are either going to continue worsening or inflation is going to start rising. So they're in a difficult spot right now. Hence why the markets, while they were green earlier today, now they're getting a little bit fuddy. And furthermore, we can see here, kind of give a more general summary of the meeting. Can't really say labour market is solid anymore. Jerome Powell, obviously, after seeing 1 million jobs revised, of course, not a time of elevated financial stability risks. And banks are well capitalised, households are in good shape, and so on and so forth. Downside risk to employment shifted balance of risk, prompting last week's rate cut. Hence why, again, we're now seeing rate cuts right now. Rate cut was another step towards a more neutral policy stance. Now, that for me is relatively good news. And also, you can see off the back of that, the chance of rate cuts has surged significantly, up to now almost 94%. It was at 90% yesterday, and now it's gone up. Ultimately, the Fed has been in a QT, quantitative tightening stance, for quite some time, pretty much since COVID. And now they're shifting more towards neutral, which is then making that gradual shift more towards quantitative easing, which is great for injecting more liquidity into the market and, of course, therefore pumping crypto stuff up more so as well, which is great for risk off, or not great for risk on even. But again, so this for me, I think it's a good shift towards hopefully seeing a bullish Q4. Of course, we'll have to keep an eye on the macro and see what's happening in the fundamental side as well. But this has caused conflicting opinions, especially in the short term. Short term, people are now a little bit fuddy. Again, Bitcoin now making another drop in bottom as well, coming down now to 111,000. Ethereum still hovering around 4.1, and then Casper again just trading right now. I honestly think right now, if the market finds stability, if Bitcoin manages to hold 110k, if Bitcoin goes to 107k, I think Casper will probably come back down maybe to 7 cents. Worst case, this support down here. But Bitcoin finds support 110k around here. And finds support there, and then, trades down here for a bit, and then eventually makes a move up. I think Casper will repeat what it has done 2 occasions already, where it has found support and traded just under 8 cents. We saw it happen here for 2 weeks. Saw it happen here for a week as well, after Liberation Day, and also in July as well. So if Bitcoin manages to hold 110k, which I'm not confident in all honesty, I think Bitcoin may come down to 107. We'll have to wait and see. It depends on the number of reports we get out and the market makers, how they're going to decide how they want to move it. But I think Casper right now, again, dropping down below, finishing yesterday around 7.8, 7.9, and then it's been trading around here as well. And you can see the wick is, again, in that zone of 7.5 to 8 cents. So Casper, therefore, could end up trading below this zone for the next few days. And that wouldn't be bad, again, a time to DCA more in preparation for, what we hope to be big catalysts coming out. We are currently 2 to 4 days or so away until the alleged release date for smart contracts, because Johnny said 25th to 27th. We can see in that regard, actually, I'll get back to more Casper content in a moment, but we can see Casper has changed the website from the dates now to just preparing for kind of final countdown, which people are now taking that a bit negative. Is not. It's just him making it look more sleek in a UI change. At least that's what we hope it to be the case of that. People are now saying, they've now removed the dates. It's not actually going to be in 2 to 4 days now, but it's not what's happened at all. If that is what's happened, then, you know, Johnny's just thrown baseless FOMO out, and that would be definitely received very poorly. After that would be the third time then they set a date and it's not come to fruition. But I'm not predicting or anticipating that's what has happened. It's just a change in UI. But with that happening this week, you may see Casper make a FOMO rally off the back of that, and then depending on the successful nature of it and what happens after that, it might be a small by the rumor sell the news event. And then if it's successful and you see other reassuring developments off the back of that, you'll see maybe a slight rally, and then maybe finding a higher support level to hold at before the market rallies. If it's, unfortunately, touch wood, if it's a failure, you'll see Casper probably come back down and find the supports down here. But again, we'll have to wait and see how the market makers and the traders act in that regard. But this is what's happening right now due to what Jerome Powell just said. And again, I wanted to highlight this again. No risk-free path. Now, I highlight that because the Fed are, again, stuck between a rock and a hard place. There's not really much that they can do without potentially ruining or further ruining the economy. They have been given a very, very tough job. And with all honesty, no matter what, even if Trump had his way and had 1% inflation like he wanted at the beginning of his term, that would probably have caused mass inflation and the complete crumbling of the economy. Because inflation already was too high. It's hovering between 2 and 3 right now. If you load up Trueflation, we can see right now Trueflation suggests that when my website wants to load up, we're currently at 2% right now, close to that, which is not bad. Of course, the other reports like PCE, CPI, and PPI, those sort of macro trends suggest we're slightly higher than 2%. But we're not at the Fed's desired target, which is 2%. But if inflation continues to start rallying, or I mean, right now it's doing okay, according to Trueflation at least. But if it starts making a rally up again, that will be worrying. This for me is, you know, a bit of a tangent there. I apologize, but point being, this for me is actually more so by design. It's by design. What I mean is basically, in regards to this clip here from the Canadian Prime Minister, Mark Carney, where he ultimately suggests and confirms that he's not really so worried about what's happening, because what we're seeing right now, what we're witnessing right now, is not a transition, but it's a rupture. The financial system as we know it is collapsing before our eyes. This is a sharp change in a period of time. It's a 13-second clip, or 80-second clip. I might play it later on in the stream, but there's not much to it. It's just said that and that. And it's, again, it's a kind of, for me, I wanted to highlight this again because it's a testament of how crypto and blockchain is now being perceived as a savior, as the next evolution, next step in the financial system. But for people to accept change, something has to break. The current SWIFT system, financial systems, is breaking. Markets are in disarray, where you've got the S&P 500 and gold at all-time highs. That's weird, because gold is meant to be for risk off. And stocks and crypto and that sort of stuff are meant to be for risk on. So all markets are now all-time highs. So it is really a predicament right now. It's like everyone's banking on everything going up. And because everything is. Because we're witnessing the fall of the dollar, fiat collapsing, with the birth for digital assets and crypto to take the helm. So that's why there's no clear path, because the economy is currently collapsing and it's a tough gig to fix. Of course, we believe Casper can fix it, and maybe it'll be adopted in the future to be that solution as well. But this is what's currently happening. It's not a transition, it's a rupture, but it's also, in a sense, by design. And those who may be panicking right now, Raoul Powell here, whether you trust him or not, what he says is something that I've been saying time and time again. And it's, you know, in the shorter sense, don't be emotional, be logical. But in his words here, in regard to what we saw yesterday in that correction, with, you know, XRP coming down 10%, Bitcoin down 3%, Ethereum down 7%, Casper came down like 6-7% as well. The same thing happens all the time. The crypto market is focused on a big breakout, gets levered long ahead of it, it fails the first attempt, so everyone gets liquidated. We saw the rate cuts. Everyone's like, oh, we're going long, all-time highs. Immediately. It struggled to break out. It tried, but it struggled to break above that 117k, which we highlighted time and time again. If we don't break above that, we'll probably see it struggle. And it did. And therefore, market makers and everyone got liquidated. It came back down. But it happens every single cycle. Only then does the actual breakout occur, leaving everyone on the sidelines. Of course, those who are aware that this is the pattern, we are prepared and we had more dry powder to buy the dips, which is what we're doing right now. That's why even now I will be buying more of the dips. The same happens time and time again. And there's a lot more to come forward as well. The fact that, again, FIs, financial institutions, are starting to get more and more involved right now. The document here highlights that most financial institutions will not create their own digital asset. Instead, they will pursue partnerships with stablecoin providers. You know, I saw a post earlier today, I think, with Securitize working alongside Ripple, which will therefore allow their stablecoin RUSD to be utilized with the likes of BlackRock's Biddle and the next V-Bill. So that's a good thing for Ripple and XRP, potentially getting their stablecoin more adoption, which would probably help out XRP as well. Again, I don't necessarily trust the people behind XRP, but I see the partnerships and the connections they're making and believe therefore that people will buy into that and will make gains. That's why I hold XRP. But this is exactly what we're seeing right now. You know, FIs aren't as caught up with fintechs in regards to building crypto. So instead of them having to build their own stablecoin, build their own protocol, their own infrastructure, they're going to just partner with someone who they either can buy out or trust or whatever. They're going to partner with someone. Casper, in that regard, have the KRI. Of course, it's a fair old project, so it's not really partnering with Casper. But that's where you've got the likes of the KEF, who partners with BWF Labs and Wintermute, and KRI, who is partnered with the likes of PwC, Shell, DHL, Hyundai, Bosch, Eon Energy, Siemens, which therefore means that technically speaking, Casper is not partners. It's not the right terminology because Casper's a fair old project. But thanks to the KRI, who is leveraging building on Casper, it means that Casper has connections and is loosely, in a sense, partnered to the likes of PwC and these big institutions. They're going to work with them as opposed to, again, remember, DII, KRI, they wanted to build their own infrastructure because they couldn't use Bitcoin or Ethereum. They ended up not doing it, but they found Casper. They thought, oh, well, this is exactly what we're seeing right now. That's what they're going to do. And that's why these projects, as a result, when they get the partnerships and the adoption and the on-chain utility and use case and the demand starts rising, you'll see the price rally as well. We're seeing, again, documentation, crypto adoption, despite its FUD rising and lackluster nation and the uncertainty, is still about to surge. A new Bank of America survey shows 75% of investors have zero exposure to crypto. We are so early. 75% of their investors have no exposure to crypto, none. And even then, 6% have 2%, 2 have 4%, and only 1% of them have 8 or more. So it's still such a minute exposure of their portfolios into crypto. So think about how much more we're going to see in this cycle and years to follow. You know, especially with US lawmakers making a request for the SEC with Trump's executive order to allow the retirement plans, the 401ks, to start buying into crypto. Don't be emotional, be logical, don't look short-term, think long-term. Of course, short-term is still important to make your passive gains or your active gains and then put it into your passive gains or your long-term bags or whatnot. But crypto is a long-term plan anymore. The pump and dump mechanism, the scheme, is still prevalent, still about, but it's not as strong as it used to be last cycle or even back in 2024. And I'll get to all the questions in a moment. I do see you from Brian there to quickly clarify. We went through the recent posts here regarding what Jerome Powell recently said. And in regards to that, the Fed, Jerome Powell said rate cut was another step towards a more neutral policy stance, which means they're going from QT more towards neutral, therefore is shifting more towards QE. You know, it's a stepping stone. It goes QT, neutral, QE. So it is a slow but definitive step with rate cuts now. They're going to start going towards quantitative easing, which is good. Crypto's about to surge. We're looking very, very good. Again, SEC to allow crypto companies to launch products in the United States without burdensome regulatory requirements. These are all positive steps in the right direction for crypto adoption. Despite the market, again, despite Jerome Powell, again, the Fed sentiment causing FUD, short-term FUD, the long-term is clear. This happens every time. We're seeing a collapse. Uncertainty is all-time high, but here's the long-term. What's happening in the inevitable future? You can see furthermore and more great news here. Consensus along a handful of Capitol Hill sources is that the 3rd of September, so next week's market structure markup that Senate banking Republicans were targeting is now effectively off the table. That's unfortunate, of course. It's not going to reach that target. And I did say it's probably not going to reach 3rd of September. It's too early. Democrats have yet to offer feedback on the legislation, saying they want an agreement on process before they start negotiating details. The looming government shutdown, which is always on the cards as well, would also make it nearly impossible to hold a markup on the 30th, I'm told. A possible new target date is the week of October 20th, which is next month. But nothing is set in stone, I'm told, since the Senate AG committee is also eyeing October to mark up their own bill, which deals with the CFTC side of legislation. This delay should not, in theory, affect the possibility of getting a bill to the Senate floor by the end of the year. So, despite the potential date and timeline for the market structure bill being delayed, which is inevitably going to happen, I always believe that, it still very much seems to be the possibility that we'll still see it by the end of the year. And we can see even here, furthermore, acting CFTC chair Caroline Pham has announced an initiative to let stablecoins be used as tokenized collateral for the first time in US derivative markets, which is, again, very, very big news. The move allows the February Crypto CEO Forum, where the idea was discussed among leaders of all the major crypto stablecoin firms, and also builds on the President's Working Group recommendations. We'll get feedback again before the 20th of October. That's what they were talking about earlier. This one here, on valuation custody settlements and rule changes needed to make tokenized collateral work. So again, while the short recap then, while Jerome Powell has kind of addressed the current stance of the economy, hinting more towards a neutrals, therefore going more towards QE as opposed to QT. And of course, it has caused a lot of uncertainty. Again, we're seeing this rupture happen in the financial system. People are still therefore pricing in rate cuts because they see that, again, it kind of a necessity at this point, and the macro sector hopefully will support that. And same thing happens every time. But we're seeing, again, institutions getting involved, adoption about to surge, and regulatory frameworks coming out this year still. That's why I'm not worried about the short term. That's why I buy these dips. We've got to hear from Dimitar. Crypto Chris is a big scammer. He's advertising Space Mesh, which coin fells 99.9% of the people. Many people are looking to find him. Isn't Space Mesh the thing he advertised a while back, which did rug pulls? Is it a new thing? I don't follow Crypto Chris. I don't think he's even made any content on YouTube for a while. No, he's not made any videos for a while. So is that in his private group or something? Is his private group the one that's publicizing this Space Mesh? But I'm pretty sure Space Mesh was one that was quite dated, no? If he's publicizing it again, then that's, a problem. That's a problem. I don't even see it here. So if he's doing it again, that's a problem. If it's an old one, then I mean it's still not good, but it's with respect, it's old news. That doesn't really negate the fact that he did something that's wrong, but it's something that we've already heard it before, Okay, as long as it's a meme. I mean, yeah. I treat Casper as something that's going to change the financial system. I do. And I think every other project in this space is saying they're tempted to do that. Maybe they have a potential in a sense, but because they're centralized, proof of stakes are centralized projects, my trust in them is never going to be proper because you shouldn't trust other people with your money. You shouldn't. Casper offers true self-sovereignty, decentralization. And hopefully it'll stay that way forever. Casper is what we hope to be the solution to the biggest inherent issue with the financial system, which is the greed that humans have. XRP, Chainlink, Solana, Sui, every other project in this space has a centralized VC-backed entity behind them, which they control the distribution of the token. So I don't trust them. Zebec is in the same boat in that regard. But at the same time, as an investor who wants to also make money, I see a possibility for Zebec to make some gains this cycle. So the same way I perceive investing into memes in a sense, like if I was to get into Turbo or whatever, I don't think Turbo's going to do anything in the long term. It's a meme, of course. But Turbo's something that, it's a meme so I get into. I'm not saying these assets are memes, Zebec going to the payroll space, for example, having partnership with MasterCard and whatnot, that's great for Zebec. Now, will Casper take it over in the future? I mean, it's a complete possibility, given the fact that Casper is a so-called better technology. better fundamentally technology. But Zebec is something that I think with such a low market cap, but also so much coming out, it will probably do quite well this cycle. And that's also the bet I'm making. And of course, it's not financial advice. You don't like proof of stakes or any other projects, you're perfectly entitled to hate them. You just don't listen to me, therefore, in regard to those projects. That's perfectly fine. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just an internet funny man talking about stuff that I believe in. If you don't believe in it as well, that's perfectly fine. You know? I haven't got to agree on everything, but we can agree that Casper's great at least. Welcome back, Buff Link. Hope you're doing very, very well. And you definitely hit that like button as you enjoy the content every single day, being here, trying to push out as much as I can do regarding the market and keeping you all updated. You know, just share the love, please. So not risk to advertising. So not risk to other coin. Casper is the only true coin. I mean, I agree. That's the difference again. The so-called publicization, if you will, or the so-called advertising of other projects is not because I believe in them any more than Casper, and because I see a possibility to make money. You know? And again, actually, don't think it comes down to your own risk tolerance as well. Again, I've been transparent about this. I've got into the meme coins, the Solana degen trenches. I've got into XRP, got into Sui. I've made my gains, I've made my losses. And based on the research I've done, and from what I see coming, I do believe that Zebec is one asset, being a real asset, is going to start rallying. I don't think it's going to solve, you know, the next significant issue, because, or at least I can't be sure about that, but because it's centralized, I don't inherently trust it. But I see a possibility that it can make money. That's why I also highlight it. For those who are, again, looking for other alternatives, because there are not everyone in this, much as 95% of this community, and I, you know, shout out to your convictions, do wholly and wholeheartedly only believe in Casper, and, you know, with good reason. Those who may be looking to diversify a little bit, if you choose to, so other projects that I am personally interested in. And you haven't got to listen to me either. Again, I'm not a financial advisor. You should do your research anyways. Welcome back, LB. Let's effing go. I'm starving. As you should be. Jerome, let's wait and see. Yeah, pretty much. What's your favorite DCA to buy on the latest dip? It's a great question. I mean, ultimately, it'll be Casper as the best project for me. Casper, of course, is anytime Casper dips, that's the only one that I first and foremost always think DCA. Gotta buy more. Gotta buy more. Right now, I mean, there are many other alternatives. I think Sui's going to have a run because Sui's already done very well this cycle, and I think it's kind of battle tested by now. So I think Sui will probably run again. I'm not sure how much higher from here. It could probably make a comfortable 2x from here. Maybe a bit higher. Tau, it's not a bad shout, given the AI sentiment that, again, has fallen off massively, but is no doubt in my mind is going to come back based on all the alpha documentation that I provided the VIPs here. AI is going to come back with a bang, probably later this year. Going into 2026, so it may even continue rallying, but again, if you want to find that sort of stuff out, check out the VIP 7-day free trial. Algorand, HBAR, while they're proof of stakes, and again, I know people don't like them, they're part of the real asset space and therefore have a good chance of making that rally. From what I've seen, from what I've heard, real assets are the ones that will probably make the next big move. Ondu, I think, is a good shout as well, because they have connections to BlackRock's Biddle. But again, do your own research. My first choice has and will always be Casper, by a landslide. Could Chris is silent because he knows he's screwed lots of people with his rubbish. Again, I know there wasn't a situation a while back. I'm not sure how, it was like sometime last year, I even think. I know he was still making content around the time where he did give a call out that ended up being very, very bad. Whether intentionally or unintentionally, he ended up making a very, very bad call, and it screwed a lot of his community out. If he's done it again, because I know that I've heard about one situation of it. Okay, I say heard, I haven't seen confirmation or proof of it. I've just heard about it. If he's done it again, then that's a problem. Doing it in the first place is terrible, of course, but he's done it again, that's a problem. But he hasn't made any content on YouTube for about 5 or so months. So I'm not sure what's happening with him right now. What's up, Greg, bro? You're doing very, very well, my man. Welcome back to the stream, my brother. I'm also in Casper for change, but Euro Gulag is putting obstacles in our way. Besides, I like Trump's intervention on Europe at the United Nations. It was masterfully truthful. I actually didn't hear that. I know, believe it or not, I did not hear that. But yeah, I mean, it sounds like you are very similar to me, Double D, that you are in Casper for change, believe it's actual future, but you also believe in diversification to an extent as well, which is why you potentially look at other assets. again, everyone has different investment strategies. It's up to you as an investor to determine how you're going to invest. All I do provide you content predominantly on Casper because it's by conviction, is what I believe in, what we all believe in. But I do occasionally talk about other projects I think have potential, you know. Again, Mr. Miles, first as always, welcome back. Nailed it indeed. Welcome back, brother. More and more of my neighbors' mums asking me how to buy Bitcoin and cryptos. Not surprising at all. Again, not surprising at all. We're going to see more and more people start to get involved in crypto. It's inevitable. Casper only videos put other coins on other coins on another video. I mean, this is not a video, it's a live stream. And, you know, with an hour long of talking, much as I can talk about Casper for an hour, I've done it loads and loads of times. Sometimes I'm like, if I sneak a little 5-minute segment in about another coin, so be it. And I mean, I haven't even got into the Zebec content properly yet. I've just been defending my reason for why I talk about Zebec occasionally. But I get it. Again, not everyone loves Casper. When it comes to videos, I mean, it depends on the content of videos. You look at my channel, for example. Look at my channel. You know, you've got Casper native, you've got Zebec native videos, Casper native videos, and then you've got the occasional videos where I'm talking more so market general. I talk about particular alt because I think those do very, very well. This one was Casper, Tau, and Render. Again, not everyone likes the combination, but I'm just trying some new stuff out. And, you know, sometimes, much as I can talk about Casper day and night, there's only so much I can talk about Casper, because for the most part, we're just waiting for smart contracts now. We're seeing updates. I mean, if you look at Casper content right now, we're seeing this here, fireworks soon. Casper charted against Bitcoin. Casper is really showing trends by maintaining market structure, positioning itself well for a large run-up and possibly new all-time highs. That's fantastic news. It's TA stuff, technical analysis, but it looks like, again, Casper may be preparing for a big rally up soon, which is great. We want to see that. And we can see here, Scape Squad. I made a video here. This video here of his, this little clip here, is talking about this wavy line here is the hype line, and the hype is falling off drastically. So when the hype is really, really far down, again, people aren't focusing on Casper, the price is down. That's when you buy. So again, the buy signal is starting to flash right now. The hype indicator retests all-time lows. People are really not caring about Casper right now, which is crazy considering that smart contracts are literally coming out in the next few days. The hype's so low, it's actually mind-blowing. And you've got Dr. Hyper talk, you know, reposting the Learn Casper here, this video that was posted on Casper, which was rendered out from Okta, which is really cool as well. And then you've got stuff like this as well. Again, the final countdown, the page which has shifted from the dates just to show final countdown is being prepared. We'll see within the next 4 days or so, 3 days or so. And there's more updates like this as well. You know, we have a website where you can add merchants, where you can see here. So again, more stuff being built for Casper, which is fantastic. You love seeing this sort of stuff here as well. 32 in this region of the world, in Europe. 11. What does the yellow represent? Okay, I'm guessing it's just... Oh, it's just, I guess, a massive sum of them. Right, okay, well, there's more there. Okay, so you've got 11 more so on the eastern side of America and 2 on the western side of America. You have just 1 in Nigeria, 1 here in... I can't read that, and my geography is not that great. Geography's not that great at all, actually. Where is that? Someone could probably tell me in the chat, actually. I'm not gonna lie, I almost failed geography, so bear with me on that. I'm not terrible. I know that's Australia here, for example. And it looks like parts in Asia as well, Sri Lanka as well. So yeah, you're seeing Casper again. That's, you know, great stuff to see all around. Again, stuff explained. And then you've got this video here, which again, shout out to the person, which I'm gonna give him his kudos because he deserves it. Who forwarded this to me in the Discord community. Again, if you're not a part of the free Discord server, I highly recommend doing so. A place to just chill, chat, and learn more about crypto and Casper. Link down below in the description, also my homepage here as well. No strings attached. It was Tur Meb who reposted this Casper NFC point of sale here, which is just a tutorial of, you know, someone creating literally a way to like point of sale for Casper. You know, again, the sort of stuff that we'll be seeing more and more in the future. Is fantastic. You know, again, definitely recommend. I might play it again later on in the stream right now, but I recommend definitely watching the video and tuning into the Discord server to find it as well. But this is, again, what we're seeing for Casper is fantastic. But whilst it's all very, very good news, again, we're still just waiting for this right now. So while we're doing that, again, I just think, yeah, you know, I'll talk about some other projects that I think have the possibility to make a move in this last quarter. And that includes Casper. And it will always include Casper because I still have so much belief in Casper. Given what's about to come out, Casper has no doubt in my mind the biggest catalyst coming out in this quarter. Casplex, Eagle Labs, KRI, Tier 1 listings, stablecoins, just to list a few of them, should all be coming out in this quarter. So Casper could see one of the most ridiculous God candles in this last 3 months or so, or maybe more depending on how long the cycle goes on for. But real world assets are also going to be a big leader in this last quarter from what I've seen, from what I've read, from research documents from institutions and their enterprise clients. Again, stuff that I share with my VIPs. Market makers are talking about the next leg up is going to be led by real world assets, and Zebec is a real world asset. That's also why I talk about it, why I think it could do well. That's just me though. That's just me though. Again, you haven't got to believe me, you haven't got to get into it. I'm not a financial advisor, you do as you will. But I understand people not wanting that. What happened to you? You make a separate video for another coin, Casper coin proof of work. Now they're, oops, drop down there. America's exclusive about geography by all accounts. Okay, well, I'm actually British. My geography is not terrible, but it's that particular element that I'm just not. I'm not the most like I know this is like, again, that's Africa, that's Nigeria. You know, you got Ghana there as well, and I know Africa a bit more. So that area I'm not as well versed with. More so in the Middle East, I'm not so well versed with there. Like I'm quite knowledgeable when it comes to Europe. It's just, yeah, I'm not so well for the Middle East. Now there's no difference between you and the influencers that really get paid for everything. You've always done a great job. I appreciate very, very much, Thomas. And yeah, I do see that there are influencers, of course, who get paid to talk about other projects. And I've been transparent about it. I've been offered money for other projects as well, to talk about other coins. I don't do it. I don't do it. I haven't done it, and I don't do it. Why would I, get paid to talk about a crypto project? If I don't believe in it, at least. If I believed it had a possibility, maybe. But I've like, again, I've mentioned in the past, I was offered an opportunity to talk about Picoin. I said no. I don't want to talk about Picoin. I don't believe in Picoin at all. I think it's a terrible project. Zebec is one that I think has the possibility to do well. I'm not being paid to talk about Zebec. I'm not paid to talk about anything. I just do it because I do it. I understand the sentiment about not liking me talk about any other projects, and I apologize if that doesn't, mesh with your ideals and how you originally found me on this channel. I can say with full confidence, Casper's still going to be my main focus all the time. It has been, and it always will be. But I also believe that in this crypto space, despite it not being as safe, in regards to everything like that, I think there are multiple opportunities to make gains in this space, whether it be through Casper, whether it be through other elements in crypto like yields or trading or other projects. Much as I'm also a Casper content creator, I do personally perceive myself as a crypto channel, not a Casper channel. I know it's predominantly Casper. I can see that in my content. It's predominantly Casper. Very easily being Casper, but I'm more so a crypto channel. That's how I originally set out to be. It's just Casper ended up being something that I had the utmost faith and conviction in. Hence why I spoke about it so much. And you guys kept me in it. And girls, you guys kept me in doing it. You guys love the content. That's why I always try to provide content that I know you all will appreciate and resonate with. So I know Zebec's not really the one people want to hear about, and equally other projects. That's why I don't make, I haven't made a stream dedicated to another project ever. It's always had Casper inside of it. I make videos occasionally, those who want to look at those. But I mean, that's just my 2 cents of the matter. I appreciate the support either way, even though you may not like it. How do you spot a crypto scammer on YouTube? I believe all these influencers. It's tough. It's tough. One of the easiest ways is seeing if they're hype people. A lot of people, it's tough. It's borderline impossible to spot a crypto scammer. Unless you can somehow find their wallet and go through and see if they're being paid to talk about something. But it's borderline impossible. One of the ways you could tell is by, if they're really evidently hype men. Like if they're very obviously just saying, oh, it's going to reach this value. That's also why I don't do price predictions, because I think that's also something that can, some price predictions that can very, very easily lose trust, because you give price prediction, people take it at face value, which they never should do anyway, but they take it at face value. It doesn't come to fruition, they call you a scammer. I don't do price prediction on Casper because I don't know where it's going to go. I have predictions in my head, and I think it could do very well, even now, but I don't say it out loud because I don't want to say something that people's going to take at face value when they shouldn't do anyways. And if it doesn't come to fruition, then apparently I'm a scammer. for having a belief. Everyone should make their own predictions. So it's tough, Winghorn, it really is. Only truth is your wallet. Yeah, only trust yourself. That's again why my biggest conviction is Casper. Casper is decentralized, so you have true self-sovereignty. You trust yourself. You don't trust Ripple for XRP. That's a bad idea. You don't trust the CEO of Zebec, Simon. Trusting somebody else is a big, big risk. Trusting yourself, you know how you're going to act. So Casper, therefore, is the safer asset. Welcome back, Falco Bro. You're doing very, very well. Did Casper Live remove the clock? Yes, in a sense. So originally they had the countdowns for the 3 dates. And so I mentioned it in the Casper channel about it. And then Casper Door removed it. Casper also confirmed as well that this website, I think he said it's going to be, taken off and completely removed after smart contracts are launched. He has no more use case for Cast Live after the smart contracts are out. But he had the 3 dates and he's changed the UI just to prepare for smart contracts because, I don't know, I guess it's easier that way. But it's still the very same thing. The dates we're still expecting right now is 25th to 27th. So it's still in the next, actually, technically a date 1 to 3 days from now, technically. Yeah, of course. Exactly. The capital took down the timer as some people were getting confused with 3 timers showing. This. Yeah, I think that also, just easier. You saw it from being randomized matrix dates. And then you saw the 3 days, and then you got preparing smart contracts. People are like, oh, it's coming very close now. It must be within days now, which it is. I could go further, but QC might get upset. Probably. Yeah, that's crazy bet. What could be the minimum target for Casper's bull run? Unfortunately, Jeff, I do not do my predictions. If I was to say, for me, the absolute, I think Casper very, very easily, comfortably surpasses all-time highs. That is the most I've ever said in regards to price prediction for Casper. That all-time high surpassing it is very comfortable, and that would be, right now it'd be almost a little over just a little below 3x. I think Casper can very, very comfortably surpass its all-time high this cycle. Let's see how far it goes from there, though. Yeah, I don't talk about price. People just talking about some crazy things right now in the chat. Fair enough. How much of your port is in Casper QC? I believe last I checked, it's about 85%. It was 90%. And then I diversified some into getting some KRC20s. So technically it's still in the Casper community, but is in the memes. And then I have a little bit in some other projects here and there. Some in XRP, some in Zebec. And then once I'm content with the gains I've made, I'll cycle them back probably into Casper. And of course I have, a very small amount of my capital in trading as well. Well, not that small. Yeah, I guess for my capital, it's quite small. My geography isn't that great. You're going to make an excellent American. Yeah, honestly. I know it's a joke that Americans are terrible at geography. I've never said that because I don't want to be discriminatory. I don't want to be discriminatory like that. But my geography is mainly just terrible around here, and it's also because I can't read it. Because it's in Arabic. It's not in English, so I don't know what it's saying. That's what it is. Which is, fair enough. It being in their own native language is what this is showing here. I wonder if I could set it to English. Blind you. Sorry. Nope. Okay, so I can't figure that out. I can look it up later on, I guess, but I could just do that. Oh, it's Dubai. Okay, it was Dubai that I didn't know it was. Okay, there you go. It's funny what you can do when you actually just click things. Yeah, so it's Dubai. That's why I didn't know where it was. Dubai, UAE. Yeah, this chat's getting very freaky. I'm trying just to kind of ignore a lot of the joking comments. So I did research this bull run for alts, should end by February, then start alts run up in November. I'm not sure where you got your information from, Zara. I don't think that is an outrageous prediction to make. Again, I spoke about it with my VIPs, and equally in this community as well on my live streams, and even some videos that there's institutional documentation from the likes of Signum Bank, for example, that predict an extended bull run going into 2026. And based on the fact that, again, we are seeing so much adoption coming through, typically the bear cycle is a whole year. If you look at the last 2 cycles for Bitcoin, you normally see the bearish correction last for a whole year. November peak here to November bottom here. But based on the fact that we're seeing more adoption and more regulatory framework stuff coming out and the whole category of reasons that I've given out countless times, I do believe if we don't get an extended cycle, I do believe we won't get a long bear cycle. That's what something I have absolute conviction in. I'm not sure when the cycle will peak the cycle. I don't know when we're going to see the peak. Could be in Q4, could be in Q1 2026. But one thing I do have conviction in is it won't be a 1 year bear cycle. It'll be a good few months. And then guess what? The time to buy is when you're at the bottom. A lot of people want to be like, oh, we'll get into crypto this cycle, make our gains and leave. No. Especially if you end up making your gains, you'll come back, of course, as everyone does. But the best time to make money in this space is the boring time, when the markets are doing nothing and it's boring and it's down. The best time to get into Bitcoin was back down here, between 15 to like 30k, when it was boring. That was the best time to get into Bitcoin. You had a whole year there to get in, or almost a whole year there. That's the best time. Similarly for Casper, again, if you think about it in Casper's case, the best time to get into Casper was back down here, when it was boring. Casper's going to end up making its peak, going to come back down, as pretty much everything does do, and it'll be boring again. That's the time you want to get in. Especially if the project you're getting into has great longevity. So I'm not sure if I'll be getting into, your XRPs or whatever next cycle. I'm not sure how much conviction I'll have in them. I'm not sure what's going to be happening. I'm going to have to do my research and see what institutional sentiment's telling me. But Casper one that I'll be in. I can say that with conviction. Be patient to my newbie investors like QC. Yeah, pretty much. I bought the Casper today at 8 cents and now it's going back down to 7.85 cents. Yeah, it's not unsurprising right now. You might see it hover at this zone for a little bit. But again, remember, in the sense and the possibility the Casper does end up making that move above all-time highs, which again I think is a possibility, that extra, that extra 1.5 cents that you wasted out on. Actually, no, it's not. No, it's 0.15 cent. It's going to be nothing in the grand scheme of things. Jason, I appreciate it very much, Ringhong. QC has not offered anything to talk about crypto. He has no view. Sure. Is that what you believe? That's fine. Yeah, he thought I was calling him American. Yeah, I know. That's just crazy. I'm very, very stupid. Quick Casper, not Quick Casper. Exactly. There you go. If I was a Casper channel, I would have called myself Quick Casper, or whatever my name for Casper would have been. It's Quick Crypto for a reason. It was meant to be a crypto channel. It's just Casper became the project. I'm happy I found it. I'm blessed. We're all blessed that we found it. But I'm a crypto content creator. I'm a Casper maxi, but if I can make profit in other projects and put it to Casper, then that's good for Casper. That's my exact mindset, pretty much. Yeah, I guess I think it's difficult to really determine scammers, because some of them can be good at covering their tracks, but a lot of them also are quite lazy. You think about certain KOLs in this space for Casper, for example, who have evidently been caught out in scandals. People are now got smarter and able to find receipts. Like Archetype, for example, I'll talk about openly because you have been caught out numerous times now, especially in regard to that recent one with Kurt on base. But you've seen certain content creators who literally will make videos showcasing his buy signals in his community, his private community, and the wallets that are bought in and sold at the top on that community, and then he announces the sell signal afterwards, which is scam sort of behavior. But that's only if you know how to do the research. It's not easy to do. Casper gets tier 1 listings. We're set from there 100%. Optimized doing that. QC have made no money in crypto. You probably lose that bet. In fact, not probably. You would definitely lose that bet, because I've made a lot of money this cycle already, and I'm down on Casper. That's again my, that's the reason why I diversified. I didn't think Casper would be doing this low for this long. Of course, it happened, but I got very, very fortunate back in late 2024 when the meme coin bubble Solana was going all over the place. I got very fortunate making some insane 20 X's overnight in some projects I got into. Of course, I lost a lot of money as well, but my gains ended up being, fortunately, for the better, bigger. They were gambles, but I got lucky. I think my gains, and they're sitting in Casper right now. Casper won't pump till Jerome Powell says we can print money and the 2-1 listings it. Possibly. Who knows? Welcome back, Octopus, who doing very, very well. When there be a president who will stop printing money, thereby protecting fiat and hurting crypto? At this point, I think fiat's kind of doomed anyways. I don't think that's happening anymore. I mean, Trump doesn't want that. Trump wants to push out stablecoins, so probably not. Okay, I was about to agree, and then I saw that last comment. Mr. Mars, always catching me out. Yeah. I mean, that's what I mean. You have been saying that. I agree with you, Krypton. You have been saying that, and again, that's what I have been highlighting in my community. Again, I'll very, very briefly bring up that Sigland Bank document. I've showed it already on stream, so you know it's not the end of the world. But this is one of hundreds of documents I have in my VIP group, and this document here is literal proof. I even made a post of it on my Twitter actually. I'll just load it up there. You can see it here. So I made a post about it on my Twitter page. You can see here the monthly investment outlook, August 2025. So literally came out last month. And this document here, you say, as the crypto market has adhered to the consistent 4-year cycle so far during its short history, it's only been around since 2008, very short history, expectations are that we are approaching the end of the current bull cycle with bear predictions for 2026. As we normally, that's what people are saying right now. Q4 is going to top, and it could do. However, as a global liquidity, the M2 money supply remains plentiful and it's expanding still. Look at this here. All-time highs. So as expanding still, institutional adoption progresses. We're seeing that here. With treasury demand, while demand for treasury companies remains strong, you know, crypto reserves still being a thing, and streamlined US regulations that are likely to act as a catalyst for at least certain segments of the market, which would definitely be crypto, we believe the current cycle has further to go. That in itself is like okay, but when you combine that with the fact that they said bearish predicted for 2026, further to go, that's Sigland Bank indirectly saying there this cycle will go into Q1 2026. And not the only one that said that as well. So I think we'll see it expand further, and it's what I've talked about in my VIPs. We knew about this last month, and we've been talking about it as a possibility for a lot longer than that as well. So again, if you want to find out more, join the VIP, check out for free for 7 days, or equally join for free for a month. Should you sign up to BYDFI, no KYC, no VPN, regulated exchange, which is currently holding, although it's coming to an end in the next 2 days, a Casper trading campaign, a chance to get up to $10,000 in Casper. And you can also get the 1 month free trial if you follow the steps here in the Get VIP Access channel here. If you need any help setting that up, again, just reach out to me on Discord and I'll help out where I can. But yeah, it's stuff you can get benefits there, and you can learn a lot more about the space and ultimately be better prepared for what is to come. Become a better investor. That's what we're trying to teach there. Yeah, exactly. Who was it that said Coinbase can't discuss it because then people stop buying all the coins regarding Coinbase profits? Someone said that Coinbase can't discuss it because Casper's protocol would conflict with the ERC Ethereum protocol base. That's why. Which is a valid reason, but I still don't think it's enough. I think they're still going to list it eventually in the future. It's the same argument for BNB and Binance. They're valid arguments, but we just don't know the answer. And I still think they're going to list it anyways because they're losing out on money otherwise. You did, Mr. Mars. You're getting better. You're getting very better. Because the market will continue pumping until the Fed change from QQE, which they haven't started yet, to QT again. Maybe they will. Maybe they will. I mean, if you see it extended into like mid-2026, that'll be fantastic for Casper. Because at that point, you'll be seeing close to Dagnite launch. Dagnite is meant to be coming out, according to Michael Sutton, which I'll try and load the post up for tomorrow, actually, tomorrow's stream. But according to Michael Sutton, he said he wanted to see stuff like Dagnite and native smart contracts or VPOCs now come out by, Q2, Q3, 2025. Of course, those timelines can shift continuously, but we can see that come out next year. That would be huge. Now, we got through that. A little bit of Zebec updates. Very small ones here. Their new partnership, All Unity. All Unity here is quite a big deal. Deutsche Bank backed. That's why it's a big partnership. It's Deutsche Bank backed. Very, very big bank there. Deutsche Bank backed All Unity selects Zebec as a preferred payroll partner, making Zebec the go-to provider for real-time stablecoin payroll for its private and enterprise clients. EURAU, a MiCA-compliant euro-denominated stablecoin, will be integrated across Zebec's payroll platform and Zebec card suite, powering everything from instant wages to global spend. This move marks Zebec's growth in the United States leader in stablecoin payroll to an expanding presence in Europe and beyond. That's a very, very big partnership for Zebec. I'll probably make a video on that later this week. Sorry if you don't like the Zebec videos. I'll make a Casper video tomorrow. Promise you that, talking about smart contracts. And I'll make another video as well for Casper this week as well, talking about certain important features to the smart contract that people don't understand that need to be addressed. Frequently asked questions, FAQs. And again, highlighted this post here as well, with the Genius Act and MiCA setting clear rules, Zebec is scaling real-time stablecoin payroll access across the US and Europe from schools to enterprises. Zebec is driving the adoption of stablecoin payroll. Again, Zebec is a real-world asset, and from what I've seen, real-world assets will definitely do well in this last quarter, in the last leg of the bull run, so that's why I've taken a hedge on Zebec for this last leg up to potentially make some profits. And I've been transparent about it. I got in around this price, actually. I got in at 0.0038. 38. I wanted to get into it at 3.5. I'm sure Casper God, if he's watching here now, he will remember us talking about it in our VIP. He asked if I had gone to Zebec, and I said I had a buy order here at 3.5, and it just missed out by like 0.00. I mean, if you look at it here, actually. Look, it's like 0.0035041. I missed it by 0.000041. That sucks. It happens though. But then because I saw Zebec making that move, I was like, I think it's worth me getting into it. So I got another dip here in this candle here. So I got a 0.0038. I'm currently unwrapping it a little bit, but I still think Zebec can make a big move from here. That's just a bet for me though. And then Casper, I mean, my average in Casper is a lot higher than this. I'm down on it. I'm still DCAing because Casper for me has the strongest possibility in gaining this cycle. But with that now being said though, family, thank you very much all for watching and tuning in once again to the crypto stream. If you enjoy the content, despite the Zebec news, I know those may not like it, but I personally think Zebec's decent to make gains. Just clarifying that. Anyways, that being said, if you enjoyed the content, leave a like, share with your friends, and subscribe for more. If you want to know more about crypto, Casper, the whole works, check out the free Discord server. Links on my homepage here and down below in the description. You find a lot more, learn a lot more, lock in more. If you want to level up even more so from there, check out the VIP. We've got free trials out of everybody's ears. You know, you get all access to that. Level up, get a little inkling of what's going on in there. That being said though, have a great day, good night family, and I will see you all in the next one.